Good morning guys, welcome back to the channel. So today is the launch day. I'm very excited, I'm very nervous, and I am pretty freaking anxious about this as well. This is definitely the biggest launch we've ever had. I made sure the site was good to go last night. I made sure the site was good to go again this morning, but I'm still anxious that there's gonna be some sort of like error or mistake or hiccup when it goes live at 10 o'clock. But here's the plan for today. We have about 6 hours until launch, so I want to head back up to the shop. And I want to try to get everything painted for the STi before the site goes live. I need to be on the computer. I need to be readily available when the site does go live just to make sure everything is solid. Right away, we are going to start shipping out orders. It is currently Friday. You're probably watching this on Saturday. I want to try to get every single order shipped out by Monday. Let's head back up to the shop, get to work on these STi parts, get them all finished up so we can let them dry and get them back on the car. There's two key factors to a perfect morning, every single morning. The first being a cold start for the boys. And the second is a cup of coffee from Bobby. To get this started off, we have to do a bunch of wet sanding on all the primer pieces. So this is how everything turned out that we sprayed yesterday. Definitely a little bit of dirt in the paint that we can easily wet sand out. So here's the hood. Front bumper and the wing is down there. I'm gonna go ahead and open up the garage door, put these things out in the sun, just let them bake out in the sun for a while. They're obviously completely tack free and dry now. They've been sitting overnight, so turned out absolutely amazing. I'm excited to see this color out in the sun. Here are those corners I ended up bending back down. Look pretty good. Not bad for a first time job. Here is the color out in the sun. That is such a freaking nice color, guys. But of course, it doesn't matter how beautiful the color is if it's not gonna match the rest of the car. Same process as yesterday. Wet sand all the primer, get some base coat on, wait about an hour, get some clear coat on, and let it dry overnight. All right, all the boring stuff is done. Everything is wet sanded. Let's let it sit out in the sun and air dry for probably, I don't know, 30, 45 minutes. Prep the shop for some base coat, prep the gun for base coat, and we can get to laying down some color. I will be doing this 100% on my own today, which is a little nerve-wracking, but I think we can get it figured out. It is freaking game time, guys. We have all of the parts laid out across the shop. Quite a bit less than we did yesterday, at least a lot less bigger panels. There's probably about the same amount of pieces, but we don't have a hood today. We don't have like the wing today. The only two big things we have are the rear bumper and side skirts. Let's get to wiping down the parts with Prep All, this surface cleaner right here. My brother Austin taught me yesterday that you need to use two rags. One that is wet to draw everything to the surface, and then a dry one right behind it. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna wait about 30 minutes. And then we can go through with a tack rag, make sure there's no dust or very minimal dust on all the parts, and then we can get to spraying. All right, everything's all cleaned up. I know everything's gonna turn out really nice, except for I kind of have a feeling this hood scoop isn't gonna look the best. And the reason for that is it feels super, super rough. I didn't notice that before. I definitely should have laid down some primer on the hood scoop as well. Wet sanded it smooth, and I know it'd look perfect. This is kind of like a trial and error for me to see if the paint will fill in the little tiny like haziness, roughness that I'm feeling. All right, guys, let's mix up some paint. Wait about 30 minutes, hit it with a tack rag, and then immediately, right after we hit all the parts with a tack rag, we are going to state, we're gonna start laying down the base coat. 3 coats of base, 3 coats of clear, we should be good to go. All right, so all of the base coat is laid down. It has been maybe an hour and a half since we sprayed the last coat. So we did 3 coats total of base. I already know, like I said earlier, this hood scoop is not gonna look good. It's very rough looking. I think everything else should turn out really, really nice. It's crazy how blotchy everything is until you spray the clear coat on. I noticed that yesterday as well when we were doing all the other parts, but yeah, I'm super freaking excited. So we gotta clean out the gun again, mix up some clear coat, 3 coats of clear, and we should be good to go. Alrighty guys, everything is sprayed out, 3 coats of clear, and I think we are good to go. We won't know how good of a job I actually did on these pieces I did by myself until they actually dry. Let's probably get out of the shop. It's a little bit sneaky in here. So let's give it a few hours after launch. We should be able to come back down here, check them out, and see how good they look. All right, so we got everything painted for the STi. The site goes live in 15 minutes exactly. We did have to make a very, very last minute change on shipping. Everything outside of US and Canada, we had to completely change who we're shipping through, our shipping rates, all that stuff. I hope I got all that dialed down. There was a ton of packages getting lost through the mail service, so we had to just completely take that away. But yeah, site goes live in 15 minutes. I have so much freaking anxiety right now. Some of the most anxiety I've ever had. This is such a big launch. I've worked so hard at this for like months now. Ever since last launch, I've been working at this launch for this day right here. And it all comes down to everything in 15 or 14 minutes. Let's hope this goes smooth. The website just went live 2 minutes ago. Let's see how we're looking on inventory. One of the sweaters is completely sold out. This is just absolutely insane. You ready to start shipping all day for the next like week straight? Yeah. So it looks like all the orders, or a lot of the orders slowed down.
Wait, don't show me in the background.
Bob's going to sleep. So we are going to start shipping stuff out. That's all we're going to do the rest of the day. Probably today, tomorrow, and Sunday. I'll pay you 50 cents on the dot.
Every day?
50 cents a day. I'll pay you to help me out. Or I got a deal for you. If you help me with my launches, I'll help you with your launches. I kind of want to cry.
Can I see it?
You want to see me cry? Oh my gosh. So it's probably 8 hours later and we've got a ton of orders done. So everything that you guys see right here, all those back there, and all of these orders right here. I was feeling pretty good about myself, thinking that we're gonna get all the orders done tonight. But then I look at a stack of orders that we still have to fulfill. There's no way. We still have to go through that whole stack of paper and get all those shipped out. But I am promising every single order from today is gonna go out by Monday, or everything will ship out on Monday. It's Friday right now. You guys are probably watching on Saturday. Everything will be packaged and dropped off on Monday. So if you're in the US, you should have it like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And then international orders is usually like 6 to 10 business days. Enough packaging, enough shipping orders. Let's go take a look at the parts that we painted this morning. It feels like it was yesterday, but get them out in the sun. I'm gonna let them set out overnight and then into tomorrow, just so that paint can really harden up before we get everything installed on the car. Damn, the shop is a complete disaster right now. We have the car all torn apart right here, all of the parts right here. There is a little bit more dust in the parts that I painted versus the stuff that me and Austin sprayed together, and I haven't exactly pinpointed why. Let's get everything outside and I want to show you guys what it looks like. There's like some weird pinholes in some of these spats. Those are definitely like some eBay replica, definitely not OEM, so it may have been in the material. Haven't exactly figured out yet. Here are the 2 front bumper vents. Those turned out absolutely perfect. We have the side skirts and the rear bumper. The rear bumper was the biggest part that we sprayed. Honestly, I think I'm just being a little bit too picky. There's definitely some dust and dirt in it in places. It's all full of pollen right now already, but you can see a little piece of dust right there. There's some like Bondo or filler pinholes right there. To be completely honest, I am very excited with how everything turned out. I think for my first job spraying completely on my own, completely by myself, I'm very happy. If I was to give it an honest rating out of 10, I would probably say like a 7.5 out of 10. There's a lot of room for improvement, but because I know that, I know next time that I spray, it's gonna turn out a lot better. I'm hoping tomorrow we can get a bunch of parts back on this car. We may even be able to get it 100% complete tomorrow. Remember, the whole interior is still gutted right now, so it's gonna need quite a bit of work. If we let those bake out in the sun tonight and tomorrow morning while we're still shipping out orders, we should be able to potentially tomorrow evening get this thing back together. Before we go ahead and end out this video, I just want to give a huge shout out to everyone who supported the launch today. It is honestly mind-blowing how much support there has been on the channel over, I would say like over the last 2 years. Last year really, it just took off. The amount of support has been absolutely unreal. When I first started this brand, I always had the fear of like, maybe no one's gonna really connect with it, no one's gonna support it. And of course, the first few launches we had, they were slow. The first launch, I think I sold like 4 things. The second launch was like I don't know, it was a bit better. And now we're on like our 5th or 6th launch, and we nearly sold out the entire store today, not just the half wrap sweaters and hoodies, but pretty much every single thing in the store is sold out. I want you guys to know how much I appreciate that, how much I appreciate you guys. It's gonna be super, super dope going to like car events, car shows, car meets, and seeing all of you guys rocking the merch. Definitely gonna be the best feeling in the world, seeing something that we created out in the real world. I guess all I'm really trying to say, guys, is that if some kid like me who's honestly not all that knowledgeable about what I do, which is working on cars, rebuilding cars, in the grand scheme of things, I don't know all that much. If I can do it, anyone can really do it. Growing up, I was the most awkward, most shy dude. And to think that now I make a living putting a camera in my face, which has gotta be one of the most like horrifying things when I think back at it. When I first started, one of the most horrifying, one of the most anxiety filled things that I could have ever done. But I knew that if I stuck with it, if I followed my passion, followed my dreams, followed my heart, that I could accomplish great things. And here we are like 4 or 5 years later after starting the channel, and now it is my full-time job. At the end of the day, if all you have is a crazy passion, a crazy desire to do whatever, it doesn't have to be automotive stuff, it doesn't have to be car stuff, follow that passion and just see where it takes you. Take the chance, take the leap of faith, and you never know what you may end up with. Peace out, guys. I'll see you tomorrow.